Ranging from Judgment Day to Ragnarok, the end of the world had been predicted for some time. Yet none could truly have foreseen the day of the Great War. It was an event like none other, shaking humanity to the core. Much of the world's population immediately descended into complete barbarism. Others held true to their old beliefs in the idea that their devotion would be one day rewarded. Many other human communities, in a bid to understand their sense of purpose in a post-apocalyptic world, formed new religions. In this video, we'll be covering the different post-war religions and belief systems that have arisen in the world of Fallout. The belief in a high entity and systems of worship themselves have been a part of human society since our conception. As the world reverted back to a veritable Stone Age, many human communities reverted to more paganistic tribal religions. Most of the new religions were typically centered on locations, elements, or creatures that were especially important to the tribe in question. One former tribe, known as the Hangdogs, was centered on the belief that dogs were their spirit animals. This belief came into being due to the tribe inhabiting the ruins of Denver, also known as Dog City, due to the enormous packs of canines that essentially ruled it. The Hangdogs came to tame many of the canines, becoming hunting partners and occasionally food in lean times. The dogs became an essential part of the survival to the tribe itself, and were worshipped due to their importance. Their faith was unfortunately used against them though, once the Legion came to conquer the city. The Hangdogs held out against the Legion longer than any other tribe, which led to the Legion deciding to break them by destroying their faith. To this end, the Legionaries captured scores of their treasured animals. They then built huge funeral pyres and threw the living dogs into the flames. The Hangdogs capitulated, as the elders could not stand to have their spirit animals burning for eternity in the afterlife. Upon joining the Legion, the religion was abolished, yet former tribals such as Anthony will still speak of it with reverence. The Vipers are another tribal group with quite an in-depth belief system. Originally residents of Vault 15, the vault that formed the NCR, the Vipers had formed a faith based on the pagan worship of a deity known as the Great Snake. Its founder, Jonathan Faust, had fallen into a pit of vipers, yet returned after a week, infested with venom, yet somehow able to command the vipers. The snakes therefore became a core tenet to their faith, basing their society on the worship of these animals as deities. The tribe imbued their weapons with their unique venom, clothed themselves in their skin, and lived their lives according to the winding way of the Great Snake. An advanced theocracy developed, led by the Great Snake Keeper and their priests who commanded the tribe directly. Adherents participated in rituals known as the Time of the Summoning, imbibing brews of alcohol and venom in order to enter trances to commune with their gods. Human sacrifice was also an important element to their faith, with non-believers as well as tribe members themselves sacrificed to the snakes of their pit in order to please their god. Despite their elaborate culture and religion, the Vipers made the mistake of murdering an elder of the Brotherhood of Steel. The Brotherhood retaliated by exterminating the tribe in revenge and annihilated any remnant of their religion. The Vipers locatable in Fallout New Vegas are pathetic remnants to their prior culture, possessing almost no distinguishable features from common raiders. Another post-war tribal-based religion of interest is from the tribe known as the Sorrows. The Sorrows worship an entity known as the Father in the Cave, who guided the tribe and assisted in their survival in Zion National Park. The Father was actually a pre-war former soldier named Randall Clark, who helped the forebearers of the Sorrows unseen before his passing, who was then deified by the tribe for his actions. The tenets of their religion are focused on pacifism and kindness. The tribe have an almost childlike innocence to them, as they mourn the passing of even their greatest enemies. Their religion has caused them to develop a peaceful hunter-gatherer society, where one gives back to the earth what they take, as opposed to the typically seen savage raiders found elsewhere. They also consider the caves of Zion to be taboo, believing that the spirit of the Father still resides within them. The Sorrows religion is also an interesting segue into the existence of other pre-war religions that are still in circulation, namely Mormonism. A Mormon missionary known as Daniel has been protecting the tribe as well as teaching them about the Mormon faith. He found the Sorrows adapted to the religion easily, but did not realize that this was due to them co-opting the tenets of Mormonism with their own faith. They came to believe that the Father in the Cave and the God of Mormonism were just one and the same. They even transplanted Jesus and Mary into their belief system, stating that they were the Holy Son and Bride of the Father in the Caves. Other post-war religions held the belief that the end of the world had fundamentally been a good thing, the main premise of these being that the old world had been wiped away by a vengeful deity to allow the chosen to inherit the earth. One of the first religions experienced in the series is the Children of the Cathedral. The religion had many adherents that held legitimate beliefs, but it was essentially used as a front for the Master to sow the seeds of his mutant master race throughout the wasteland. The religion supported this by three core doctrines. Firstly, the old world was wiped away by the holy flame due to its decadence. Secondly, humanity is an inherently fragmented and violent species. Thirdly, the rebirth of the old planet could only come about if all peoples united under the leadership of the Master himself.
The unity will bring about the master race.
Master!
One able to survive, or even
Thrive!
in the wasteland. As long as there are differences, we will
Tear ourselves apart!
fighting each other. We need one race,
Race!
one goal,
Goal!
one people to move forward to our destiny.
The Bright Brotherhood are a ghoul-only religious faction founded after the Great War. Their belief system differs from some of the others in this example, as the end of the world was not looked upon necessarily favourably. It was instead an event that gave birth to a world hostile to the ghoul race, leading to the persecution and racism seen inflicted on many ghouls across the waste. However, the current world is one not meant for ghoul kind. Instead, it is their destiny to travel to the promised land located within space known as the Great Beyond. The Great Beyond is one in which they will be united with the Creator, and is declared to be a place that is safe, warm, and peaceful. It's also evidently highly radioactive, given that human beings are not able to make the journey. The Bright Brotherhood are led by Jason Bright, the only non-feral glowing one seen in the Fallout series. Jason was born in pre-war times, and states he's received visions of the Promised Land dedicated for his flock. However, the Great Journey had been impacted by the Nightkin incursions on the Repcon facility, who he declares to be demons. The Bright Brotherhood's main goal is to fix the rocket ships located at the facility and launch them into the sky in order to travel to the Great Beyond. The player character can assist them with this, and the rockets disappear into the skyline. However, they are mentioned as returning to assist the town of Novak in the post-game end slides. It's unknown if they'd chosen to return due to a lack of faith, given that they did not actually arrive at the Great Beyond, or if they decided to return and help their former neighbours in their time of need. Caesar's Legion had formed its own unique post-war religion, which could be considered both tribal, yet possessing foundations from the ancient past. The religion of the Legion co-opted themes and gods taken from the Roman pantheon, but applied to the modern wasteland. This influence evidently comes from Caesar gaining inspiration for the Legion itself after reading pre-war books on the culture and history of the Roman Empire. The religion is primarily centered on the worship of the god of war Mars, with Caesar referred to as the son of Mars. This was ultimately done in an attempt to legitimize his rule, as his legionaries view him as a demigod walking among them. The tenets of the religion are based on the idea that Mars had cleansed the world in fire 200 years previous, in order to rid it of the morally dissolute and weak pre-war inhabitants. As the son of Mars, Caesar has the divine right to bring order and stability to the chaotic wasteland. The religion appears to be one of the areas that women are assigned specific roles in within the Legion, given the fact that the priestesses of Mars are referenced on occasions. Their duties are explained to be the administration and indoctrination of the faith of Mars to regular legionaries, but also to newly caught slaves. Older slaves are quietly skeptical of the whole thing. However, the core recruitment base comes from their children. They are indoctrinated early on the divine right of the Legion to conquer the waste, and grow to become zealous adherents to the teachings of Mars. Mars, and Caesar, as the son of Mars, are called upon by legionaries in varying situations, primarily as a blessing. Legate Linnaeus appears to be one of the most steadfast believers in the god of war. Human sacrifice appears to be a tenet to the religion, as his first appearance has him sacrificing slaves and NCR troops to be given a sign to commence the Second Battle of Hoover Dam.
Finally, Mars has accepted my sacrifices and unleashes me.
The largest and most powerful religion created in the post-war world seen so far is that of the Children of Adam, as adherents to their faith are spread all the way from Washington DC, Massachusetts, and Maine. The religion itself had been formed by some of the founders of the town of Megaton, a town founded within a crater of an unexploded nuclear bomb. The religion can be considered to be a response to the irradiated world that its believers found themselves within. The idea that the world was devastated in atomic war due to the actions of human beings, and the subsequent hellscape that they find themselves within being the fallout of this, must have been difficult for many to comprehend. The Church of the Children of Atom was therefore founded on the belief that atomic war was not an act of ignorance, but instead of creation. The children believed that a holy deity by the name of Atom watches over the world and trillions of others. Their theory of creationism stems from the idea that within each atomic mass, a universe resides. When an atom is split, that universe also splits into two and referred to as division. In their mind, the Great War was not the horrific event that it was to most post-war residents. In the Children of Atom's mind, it was a divine event, one in which every atom of every atomic weapon launched and detonated in every nation across the planet each gave birth to incalculable new universes in an instant. The world left behind was one marked by Atom's holy glow, which is what they refer to as radiation. They therefore worship radiation as they believe it allows transformation and growth for the beings that come into contact with it. Abolition of self is highly promoted, as the bodies the children inhabit are simply seen as vessels with which Atom may transform with his glow or give birth to new universes if they die by radiation. The Children of Atom have quite a dynamic structure, as its members have a clear hierarchy and individual roles within its society. Their leaders are referred to with titles such as Confessor for males and Mother for females, with a chain of command following in place. The second command would be the chapter's Grand Zealot, the leader of the militant arm of the faith, who would assume command in necessary circumstances. The Grand Zealot themselves would also have a second in command who assists with training soldiers of the faith and defending against blasphemy and heretics. Specialist roles are also seen, given that the sole survivor can be designated the rank of Inquisitor, for their role in protecting the community and locating heretics to the faith. The children place immense importance in revelations from Atom. This is one aspect of the religion which becomes a bit blurry, even for the player character. Some members stipulate seeing revelations that can be simply dismissed as normal events, such as a glowing rad stag or a vision of a radiation storm. However, one of Atom's messengers, the Mother of the Fog, appears to the sole survivor after they drink from an irradiated springwater source and directs them through a dreamlike, irradiated twilight world to obtain artifacts to prove their worthiness to the chapter. It's hard to ascertain if she's simply a Children of Atom who hides near the spring and reveals herself once the applicants are basically drugged out of their minds, or if she is a legitimate interpretation of Atom's greater power. It's important to note that she's been stated to have been on the island already prior to the Children of Atom's arrival, as it was she who led them to the nucleus once they'd been cast out of Far Harbor. Many members of the Children of Atom are immune to the adverse effects of radiation, referring to this as Atom's blessing. These members are able to dwell in irradiated areas, such as the Ground Zero crater for the bomb that destroyed Boston, without succumbing to radiation poisoning or death. It's unknown how this radiation resistance naturally came into being. It appears to be visible in members who were not born into the religion, such as Grand Zealot Richter, so it's unknown if it's a genetic trait that passes down through generations. The children declare that it is simply due to their god choosing them to inherit the world. They use this to reinforce their claims to populate lands disputed by other factions, such as Far Harbor, declaring that Atom blanketed the land in its unique radioactive fog to pave the way for the faithful to inherit his domain. The religion is even large enough to have its own heretical sects, one being the Apostles of the Holy Light. This offshoot from the religion came about due to disagreements with the Children of Atom over two core foundations. 1. They're against division via violent means, such as exploding warheads, preferring instead to be slowly irradiated. 2. They believe that ghouls are the next stage in evolution, seeing their radiation resistance as a gift from Atom. This is in direct opposition to the standard Children of Atom doctrine, that ghouls, especially ferals, are creatures stuck in a form of purgatory, having unfinished business with Atom in this world. Despite the religion's dynamic structure and tenets, it's also quite fluid. Individual leaders can assert their will on their flock and may deem something that was previously fine heretical, or something that was previously heretical to now be sanctioned. This is evident in regards to the Children of Atom found in the Commonwealth being openly hostile, whereas the Far Harbor and Capital Wasteland chapters seek to convert unbelievers to their religion rather than immediately opening fire. And finally, The Brotherhood of Steel is an organization that also possesses some religious undertones. Classified as a techno-religious military order, the Brotherhood seeks to preserve humanity by ensuring dangerous technology does not fall into the wrong hands. The group was founded around the same time as the Great War, with their founder Roger Maxson explaining their goal as such. It was the knights and scribes after the fall of Rome that protected what was left of Western civilization. So we are the new knights, and our role is similar. But we'll need more than names. We'll need new traditions. Our own, well, mythology. Something people can believe in to the core. Roger Maxson as founder is essentially deified in the Brotherhood mythology. They also adhere to their codex, a guideline that formulates the Brotherhood's core tenets and doctrines that is venerated almost as a holy text. The Maxson lineage itself is also considered a holy bloodline. Arthur Maxson, prior to rising to become elder, states openly that,
I am descended from the great Roger Maxson, founder of our order. I am the last of his line. They say my soul was forged from eternal steel, but I don't believe that. I'm really just a normal boy.
Upon his rise to Elder of the East Coast Division, terminal entries indicate that elders on the West Coast have reported they've been eradicating cults that have popped up, worshipping Maxson as though he's some kind of god. Arthur is evidently offended by this idea, as he seeks instead to be a model example of the strength and tenacity of regular human beings. The Brotherhood essentially are administered akin to a religious organization, with all the rules, tenets, structures, and roles typically found within one. Where they seem to differ is that their belief system does not seem to be focused on an otherworldly deity, but on mankind. They worship, yet also fear humanity's ability to create and destroy by the extremely sophisticated technologies that humanity was able to come up with. They therefore believe that by controlling dangerous tech and placing it out of the hands of mankind, they are safeguarding the future of humanity itself. It's unknown if the Brotherhood itself venerate any other deity, however. Elder Lyons references a creator while saying grace before a meal. Brothers, today I offer a simple prayer. Hail Creator, blessed is your power and mighty is your gift of steel. Bless us today, your noble warriors who dwell in this hall. Let us ride upon the wings of thunder and chariots of glory to bring destruction upon your wicked enemies. Brotherhood soldiers such as Dance also seem to invoke some form of righteousness, declaring enemies such as synths, super mutants, or feral ghouls as godless heathens or abominations. It's unknown if this influence belongs only to Dance, considering that he'd grown up in Rivet City, which does have its own form of a Catholic church. And this brings us to the conclusion of the known major religions founded in the post-war world of Fallout. There were some groups which I had intentionally left out, such as the Tree Minders and Point Lookout Tribals, given that their deities are simply another character that can be interacted with and are absolutely not divine. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and please let me know if there are any other post-war religions that I'd left out.